Love them. Then they do the festival day. This one also, but this one hand draw.
That's amazing. Alright, so this is an attempt at doing a quick Q&A. The biggest ants on Earth are on the same tree that I've balanced the camera on right now. They're like gigantic. Holy crap. They might carry the camera away. Yikes. Hope they're not where I'm sitting. So, Q&A today is about how you can work on your eyesight with sunglasses, and this in particular is if you have low myopia. Alright, so the way that works is there are two ways. So first of all, I don't know where to put the phone. I don't want it. Ants. It's a giant ant. Alright, so you know that your eyesight doesn't go from sharp to blur all in one setting, right? I mean, you know that your eyesight goes from clear to blur over an increasing distance. That's always true. That's true for the glasses you wear, that's true for the other thing that changes your vision. So the ants are really putting me off because I can see them like next to the camera, and they've got these feelers. They're like small dogs, seriously. This is going to be a weird Q&A watching the ants, like right, yeah. So anyway, so the two things that affect how far you can see clearly, it's just a leaf. One of them is the prescription strength, so how many diopters you put in front of your eyes, which means the focal plane. And the second is the amount of ambient light that you get. So if you get 100 lux of light, which is shaded outdoor, then you can see further clearly than if you get 300 lux, which would be like a usual indoor office environment. So how far you can see clearly is affected by those two things. One, the focal plane, which you can change with lenses, and two, ambient light. Now the interesting thing is, the way the focal plane change works obviously is different from the way the ambient light works. With a focal plane change, we are messing around with where light focuses on your retina, which can affect your eyeball growing longer or shorter. So that's fairly serious. To a smaller extent, you can change how much light gets into your eye and therefore get to the same point, which is we use glasses to change how far we can see clearly, because we want to see clearly to the distance that we primarily use, but then have a little bit of blur further away than that distance. That's what gives us that opportunity for a focal challenge. So when you're focused up close, when you're looking at your computer screen, you use lenses that only let you see clearly to that distance, like 50 centimeters. But then when you move away to 55 centimeters, there's a little bit of blur, so you can challenge your eyes to see clearly to that extra distance. Now you can do the same thing with sunglasses. And this works especially well if you want to make a smaller change, not as dramatic as changing diopters. You can simply put something like this, clip-on sunglasses over your lenses, and that reduces the your clear distance vision by some degree. Now, this is directly proportionate to how dark the lenses are, so the amount of lux that gets to your eye. So the way you would do this is you go outside, you have a prescription where you can see, 20/30 to 20/50, and you put a pair of sunglasses or clip-ons in front of it, and it'll reduce your distance vision just a little bit. This is particularly effective if you have like 1 or 1.5 or at most 2 diopters of lens correction, where you might go outside and you don't need glasses at all. And you can see clearly, and then you put on sunglasses, you reduce that distance a little bit, or you're wearing 1.5s, but you can really see further than you want to, especially in the middle of the day. You put on sunglasses, it reduces your distance a little bit. And it's very nice because it doesn't change the focal plane. So you're purely working with your brain. It's your visual cortex being challenged. You get a little bit more double vision than straight blur with this. When you first put on sunglasses, it may almost seem that you can see clearer because while you get less lux, you get more contrast. So the effect of the sunglasses is different than the effect of the focal plane change, but you get the same challenge because the idea is it's not about lenses, it's not about glasses, it's about challenging your distance. So whenever there's a little bit of blur or a little bit of double vision, which challenges your visual cortex, that's where you want to be. So if you are not getting any challenge and everything's just too clear, the glasses are perfect except for, on a bright sunny day, you put on some sunglasses. For the first few minutes you think it's as clear, but when you're trying to pull focus, like when you look at distant road signs that are a little bit challenging, you now notice there's a little bit of extra challenge in getting that image clear, and it's usually multiple clear images that are not perfectly aligned. So with the sunglasses you get that opportunity of that small adjustment. You change the amount of ambient light whenever you need to give yourself that extra challenge, and to change, sometimes it's just helpful to change the way your brain is perceiving the image in front of you, which glasses also do. You get increased contrast, but you get less lux. And the way you can also quantify this is you can get a light meter app for your phone, and you can hold the lens in front of it. That way you can see by how many lux the light is being reduced, so it's another way to keep track in a log. If you want to say, how do I do with a 70% lens, how do I do with a 60% lens, how do I do with a 90% lens as far as the tint is concerned. So this is just a little trick, and it's really inexpensive, especially if you get clip-on lenses, clip-on frames. There are a fair amount of styles that work with different glasses. You can also get different darkness of tint with them. So you can experiment a little bit with bright days, and you can put them on when later in the afternoon when it's not as bright anymore, just to vary that challenge. That's it for the Q&A today. Hopefully that worked.